before we start today's video, I just want to say that I have been learning EG1 this past 1 or 2 weeks. And the solves that I'm going to show in the video were meant to be with EG1, but most of them I just found really dumb solutions. Yesterday, I did a 2x2 average of 100. I was meant to practice EG1, but instead I found not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not even 5, but 9 lucky scrambles. That's 1 every 11 solves. That's crazy. So in this video, I'm just going to go through all of them and just explain why they're so lucky. Alright, before we go on, I just want to show you the solve that I got, well, scramble I guess, on the 9th of September. And this was actually my former 2x2 PB. I got a 0.94, and this was actually my first ever sub 1 2x2 single, which was quite nice. So as you can see, we have this red layer, we have these 3, and we have this corner that's facing up. So if there's a corner that's facing up, usually what I would do is go like this. But since we have all matching here, if I do that, it will actually make an adjacent swap layer. And I want a full layer. So what I could have done instead is reorient this corner with RU to R prime and then insert. And honestly, that would have given me something really lucky as well if I could cancel. But I didn't do that because it actually kind of disturbs the top. So when you see like this on the top and bottom, and you also have these 2 corner swapping and this one in the right spot, you can do these 5 simple moves. R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. That solves the whole cube. My first ever sub 1, I did that on the 9th of September. Alright, let's actually go to the actual solves that I'm about to show. So like I said, I did an average of 100, and I did it on the 25th of September. So roughly 2.5 weeks after I got that PB single. So this was solve number 20 in the average of 100. And I'm not going to reveal the time yet. Actually, I got a 1.469, and as you can see, we have a 2-move yellow layer actually, so just that. And as I inserted it, I got this CLO case. Now, usually I would hate this case, but I discovered another algorithm, actually thanks to RBM. It kind of goes like this. But what I can do is I can actually cancel into the algorithm. So the yellow layer goes U prime R prime, and then this algorithm starts with RU to R prime. So if you think about it, I can just go like this, U prime R prime, and that kind of cancels into the algorithm. And then I can just do the rest of the algorithm, and that was the solve. So the whole solve went like this. Alright, this was solve number 21 in the average, so right after I got that 1.4. This was a 1.841. 2-move orange layer, as you can see here, U2, R2. And I got this CLO case. So this is really easy, it's just sexy sledge. But as always, we can cancel, so you can do U2. And you do the first R prime, but then do a U. And do R prime, U prime, and do a sledge. That's basically how you can cancel the algorithm. Alright, next solve number 46 in the average, and this is a 1.81. At first, this doesn't look like an amazing scramble, and all I can see is this green bar. And what I did see was this opposite colors here. So when you see opposite colors, you want to make like an opposite color here, because then what you can do is R2, F2, R2, and that makes a full layer. What I mean by that is, as you can see, I'm going to make my white face like this. But what I can do is actually do R, U prime, R2. And actually I can do R2, F2, R2. And that actually solves the layer. But what I can do is cancel into R2, F2, R2 to make my layer. So I can do R, U prime. And since we have this block here and this block here, sorry, bars I should say, we can just do F2. Then we get this. And we can just do R2. So that's what I did in this. So we have this green here. So I would have solved this with R prime, U prime, R prime. That would have solved a checkerboard on green. Sorry, diagonal. But what I can do is just go up and do F2 and then do R2. And luckily, that skipped the entire blue layer as well. So I just did the U. So here's solve number 59 in the average. And this is where the real fun starts. I'm not going to tell you what time I got, but once you see the scramble, you'll have a rough idea. And when I saw this, I was in shock. And if you don't know CLO, I mean, it already looks ridiculous with this solved layer. But the fact that it's this CLO and it's one of the easiest things ever. So basically, it's an anti-Soon CLO. And you have these two the same and this one opposite. And this case is basically anti-Nicholas. And all it is just Sledgehammer and then Sexy Move. So literally the whole solve was that. So that was a 0.815 and I beat my 2x2 PB. That was crazy. Let's go into solve number 77 of the average. As you can see, we've got an enormous amount of blocks. What I could do, I do have like 2 white blocks, as you can see here and here. Could insert one of them, and actually that would give me a really nice CLO. But what I did instead was actually something even more ridiculous. One move, and I get a PBL case. I could have held it from this angle, or this angle. I decided to do it from this angle. So just do an R prime, U, and then do this easy PBL case. And I know once I have a checkerboard on the top, actually, I saw from this and this that we're going to have a checkerboard on top. Sorry, at the front. So I would need to do a U2 at the end, and I, again, one-looked this entire solve. On to solve number 78 of the average. Yes, the next solve after I got the easy PBL case. Again, I'm not going to say what I got, but this scramble is just ridiculous. Oh my goodness. If you don't do 2x2, you're probably not going to see what's so ridiculous about this scramble. I'm not going to go through the tracing because it's a little bit complicated. But basically for this 2x2 scramble, all you need to do is insert this yellow corner and do a U prime. 4 mover. So that was a 0.598 and another 2x2 PB. So that's crazy. But this solve is even crazier when I put it into context. I'll do that at the end of the video though. Guess what solve number this is? This is solve 79. One solve later after I got the 4 mover. What the hell? To be honest, this could have been another sub one if I hadn't locked up. But all it is I insert this corner and I get Soon CLO. So just a Soon, that's basically all it is. And unfortunately, I locked up a little bit, but still ridiculous. So yeah, that's 3 lucky scrambles in a row. Like, seriously, when does that happen? Alright, 9 solves later, this is solve number 86. And I think, fittingly, there had to be one of these solves. We got a solved EG1 layer. And this is what I was meant to be practicing. So all it was just this EG1 algorithm. It was diag anti-Soon case. And if anyone actually knows a better algorithm for this, I feel like the one that I'm using is alright, but if you think there's a better one, then please tell me. So I do it like this. And that was a 1.945. And solve number 95, the last solve in this ridiculous average. So as you can see, we have this orange face. And to be honest, I was going to do just double sexy to make this an EG1 layer because I needed to practice that. But I just couldn't resist the opportunity doing F to solve this corner and then RU prime R prime to solve this corner. And then I get this CLO. So let's put solve number 78 into context. Alright, so it was a PB. That was insane. But I got that time 19 solves after I got another PB. I got that solve only 16 minutes after I got the other PB. In case you're wondering, that was the anti-Nicholas solve. I got 2 sub 1 singles in that session just 2.5 weeks after I got my first ever sub 1 stagmatted single. And I think this might be my first ever 4 mover. So yeah, that's just insane. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get this lucky again, and this was just so ridiculous I had to make it into a video. I don't think I'll get this lucky again. I don't think I've ever been this lucky. Tell me in the comments, have you had a session where a lot of lucky things happen, just like this? Or just one really lucky solve that you got, where it was just overly ridiculous. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll definitely make a more detailed video on the EG1 stuff, I don't know, in the coming 1 or 2 weeks, because I'm still kind of working on that. I'm still gonna average probably about the same, but once I get to like tracing and stuff, I'll definitely improve. Alright, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.